Okay, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute here. Anyway, yes, welcome back to another episode of Comics. This is episode 35 here on Twitch on the Rare Drop channel. My name is Technique, and if you don't know who I am, or if you know who I am, I'm a host, and I do a lot of stuff on a lot of ways and different things. But anyway, I'm here to give you some information on comics with my special co-host, Matt, aka Nighthawk Plays.
Special.
It was good, man.
I'll take it.
Saturday morning. How was your morning? Waking up and everything? How was all that stuff?
I'll take it. Still sipping on my coffee. Had fun with the kids running around me nonstop because mommy went to go get her hair cut in a good way. So, all good. Oh, I just noticed something I got to change. But yeah, no, everything's mighty good here, Frank. Everything's mighty good here. We got a fun little episode set up for us. So excited to get this going.
Yes. Drop enabled? No. This is not for. If you're still here for Lost Ark drops, that'll be later at 2:00 on my channel. This is a show about comics. Like the world of comics. It does include video games and stuff like that. So if you've ever been interested in comic books or comic movies or comic anything, then this is the place for you. So we kind of broke off last week. We were talking about a lot of things. The big things on the come up right now are the big two, of DC and Marvel. We talked about that. And we didn't have a show last week where we did a podcast. And if you missed it, you should definitely go check it out. It's about an hour long. We talked about a lot of things up and coming. We talked about how Patrick Stewart is rumored, he's in the movie, to be in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and he's definitely in it. I mean, nobody has that perfectly round, like almond shaped head as he does, and he's in the news a lot lately. So when people start popping up in the news, that means that they're more than likely going to be featured in something, and he's a terrible liar. He's like, Doctor Strange who? And I'm like, okay, this is the same thing that Jeremy Renner did when it came to Nighthawk, not Nighthawk, what is it called? Hawkeye,
yeah.
Hawkeye. And they were asking about Yelena. He's like, Yelena who? I mean, it's just like a funny thing. I'm pretty sure there's a PR agent that says, if somebody asks, just be like, who or what,
Just smile and nod your head and say, excuse me.
Yeah, it's like the same. They have the same little thing, but he's been in the news big time. I've seen a lot of pictures of him and his husband lately. It's just funny how that happens, right? It's like, Patrick Stewart has been around for a very long time. You might know him from a little show that may not be famous called Star Trek.
Never heard of her.
Yeah. And he's been doing what's the show called? What was his character in Star Trek?
Captain Kirk. He's been doing, I think it's on its either the second or third season. Picard. I'm sorry.
Picard,
Star Trek fans are going to be angry at me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm still sipping my coffee.
Picard, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, no.
I ain't that big into Star Trek, but I know that's not right. He's been doing this for a while, and they're going into their third season. Whoopi Goldberg is on there again, so whoopee. She's on there, and but he's been a lot in the news with him and his husband, because his husband's Gandalf. That's what we know him as. People are their pictures are like all over the place. So that only means it's not because of season 3 of. I mean, granted, we're really excited about that, and he does a phenomenal job. He's a phenomenal actor, but we know it's for the MCU. We know they're getting some bumps from that. Because his pictures, they're like, the media takes pictures of him during the interview. He's like this in them pictures. Oh
yeah,
we know he lying.
It's so great. Yeah, we can't show it, but the big one was. I forgot if it was like E or something around what he's doing right now with Picard. Picard. The interviewer said, so Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. And he goes like, Doctor who? Like it was perfect. They're playing. Yeah. It's like they are using my voice. All right, I guess. Where's my check? It's but yeah, I'm with you. We kind of talked about this on our podcast because we didn't have a live show last week. He's they're going to be recasting a lot of things with mutants and X-Men, and we may get like because of the multiverse drops of people in there here or there, but James McAvoy did a good job, but there's no one that, at least I can think of right now, that could play Professor X, and especially if they're going to go the route with the 97 X-Men from everything we've seen. I mean, he's, picture perfect for it. He has been picture perfect for it.
He is. Well, yeah, the model is now modeled after him. He's riding that Robert Downey. Well, he was the Robert Downey Jr. before Robert Downey Jr. would start, type thing. Everything was already, back when they did the first X-Men, they already started morphing everything to Patrick Stewart's looks. Across the board. I mean, I want to even say that the character was probably designed after him, because there's no flaw. Like, they look exactly alike.
It seriously is right there. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think, it's glorious to see him back in the mantle. He's a very good, he always looks so frail in interviews, but he looks so strong on camera.
You're right. I mean, how old is he, Patrick?
He's got to be in his 70s, easy, or maybe even close to 80s.
Yeah, but you're right. Like, once he's 81 years old. My God.
Yeah.
Okay.
81.
And Ian's 82.
Camera,
wow.
The man looks good. He sounds strong, and he's, his chest. He's just like, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's movie magic, but same thing about his husband. I forgot his husband's name. Who plays Gandalf?
So Ian McKellen, but they're not married though. Like, I know Ian is
you sure they ain't married?
I know Ian's gay, but
there's
he's married to his wife.
Going in.
No, well, he plays into it, Patrick. I'm like 99% sure he plays into it, because I remember him he was on the Graham Norton show, and Patrick was talking about, me and my wife, like, he has these whole couple of stories with his wife. I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, because I can't tell. I thought they were married. Boy, those pictures of them kissing were like real,
they
buddy.
go. Yeah, they go in.
They were going ham. I mean, I love the fact that he's confident.
Yeah, Sonny Ozel, Wendy Muse.
I thought he had a wife, but I was like, maybe the wife is gone.
Maybe he doesn't have him anymore. Spouses. He has 3 spouses, or 2. 2 or 3. He has a couple of kids. Maybe he is now. I don't know. Oh yeah, I see this is the first picture. It's the first picture of them. I don't know.
Just saying.
I'm not going. I mean, regardless, hey, if that's that case, awesome. I don't know.
I'm cool with it. I love Gandalf. Shoot, you shall not pass without this kiss. Just saying. Nah, it's awesome. I love both actors. Anyway, whatever is going on, whatever. Yeah, I love both actors. People are gonna roast me on the podcast. They're gonna be like, "You said husband, they're not mad." Wait a minute. I mean, check the news. I just go off of what I see. Let's talk about some funny stuff.
Yeah.
That I've been doing, like, over the week. Now, over the week, I've been having some times in between watching some Instagrams and stuff like that. I don't really do TikTok as much, but I do Instagram Reel. It's like one of my favorite things. Because Instagram Reel is a little bit more tame than TikTok. And then you can get your TikToks on Instagram Reel too, right? Like, you get like a little bit of both worlds.
Yeah, you can throw them back and forth, yeah.
There's some really good MCU ones on there. Bloopers of like interviews and stuff. And there's one with Elizabeth Olsen and Anthony Mackie. And they were like at a red carpet event. And she was like, I was going to wave at you. And she was like trying to squint, but it was black. He was like, what'd you say about me? Oh. And she was like... The way she like snapped out of it was so funny. And he was just laughing, and he like hugged her. He was laughing. It was so funny. And then there was another one with Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, and Jamie Foxx.
Oh,
and he was like,
man.
"Yeah, you want to feel protected. You wouldn't want it if it was black." And Jamie Foxx was like, "Oh, what?" Like Jamie Foxx.
Excuse me.
And the camera went back to Andrew. Andrew's like,
"Oh no."
So it's so funny. So if you have time to look at that, check those out. It's just really nice seeing that they're very comfortable with each other to be able to, pick on jokes like that.
Speaking of TikTok, I don't know if anyone necessarily caught this, but I was scrolling through TikTok the other night, and there was this BBC One interviewer interviewing Andrew Garfield about his movie that he's up for the, Golden Globes or Academy Award. He's up for like Best Actor, or he won or something like that. And they were talking about Spider-Man, and he goes, just to let you know, even though we knew, but we didn't know you were in, Tom spoiled the movie again for us. Like, this is after everything. This was like last week or something like that. He goes, deadpan just stops. He goes, excuse me? He goes, yeah. You want to see the part where Tom's soul left his body? There's an interview with Tom Holland and this guy with Zendaya next to him, and they were talking about the trailer scene about him diving down after Zendaya, after MJ. And he goes, yeah, that was a great scene. I wasn't there for it. And you just see him just like his, and then it has the office, or what is it? It was his. There
was a couple of them.
Oh
Not
my God.
He was like, there was one where he was like, they didn't show and Zendaya was like,
yeah, it's like she tries to save his butt, but nope.
He's like, yeah, it's just amazing being able to be on camera with these three and how they handle Spider-Man.
These three.
He was like, the villains, and like it just
the worst, best, worst kept secret.
Like it just. Poor Tom. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Patrick Stewart he's still married. All right, good. Still married to Sunny Ozell. Okay.
He just must have a really awesome relationship.
I didn't know because when I see multiple, not just one, multiple pictures of, I was like, maybe they're married now, or like it's like it's in public, it's in like red carpet events, it's everywhere. So I didn't know. But that's cool. I'm happy with it no matter what. I don't care, if it was husband, wife, whatever. And sometimes you can call him husband too. If you're good friends, people say husband all the time. Shit.
Yeah, he's my husband.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm excited about Multiverse of Madness because we get to see, this is where we get to see where the phase is actually going with all the characters and stuff of that nature. That's just really, really good to get an eye on that. So we believe that Mutants is coming. It's about time. We were really waiting on it. Disney made the purchase. So we were trying to figure out when they're going to introduce them and when they're going to introduce them the correct way. And we know they were casting a long time ago because they already found a replacement for Wolverine, but I heard that guy backed out at the last minute. So who knows? The guy apparently looked a lot like Wolverine, or he either backed out, he got kicked. I can't remember which one it was, but I want to say that he didn't fit to what they wanted to do, but he had the look. Because he was like a shouty. He's a shouty. He was like stocky and
in the 97 round again,
Wolverine-ish. So okay, well, let's talk about something that's not on this list real quick. Indie stuff. So indie comics. We touched on it again. I'm just giving you guys kind of like a refresher of what we kind of talked about on the podcast. There was a really good comic book, really good artist and creator that we were talking about. Let me go see.
Are we talking about the one from last week?
Yep. Hold on. I got a whole list of stuff because I want to make sure I get these names right. His name is Anthony Piper.
Yes.
He's done some really, really amazing stuff. Again, shout out to Anthony Piper. Hopefully we can get you on the show one day. Since it's Black History Month, if you want to check out some interesting and awesome comic work, I highly suggest you go on to YouTube and Google Trill League. That's TRILL League. Think about like the Young Justice or what's the other one? I would say Young Justice or Teen Titans or something of that nature.
Teen Titans,
but all the characters are African American, and they have their own. It's like how different cultures have their own memes and jokes and stuff like that. It's the same thing. He put it all into one place, and it's really awesome. It's like, what if Robin was black, and like what are the things that he would deal with and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. High quality artwork, animation work. Like, definitely go check it out. Trill League is what it is. Really good. Anthony Piper also worked on Miles Morales. What if Miles Morales was the Hulk? And Miles Morales is, Spider-Man. And yeah, you get to see him as a Hulk. I highly suggest you guys check that out and let me know what you think next week, if you can. It's really good. One of my friends gave me the info on that, and I was really intrigued, enthralled with it at that.
Yeah, you could pick up, they call it season 1, I believe, right now. But we brought this up again. The season 2, they're popping up as a Kickstarter, I believe, March 2nd. So I think it's like Wednesday or something like that from today. So early next week, essentially, you're going to see it out there for them to bring out a new season for it. And I didn't read it. I kind of grabbed a couple of things and am planning on reading it at some point this weekend. But like you said, if you just look this up, Thrill League, the art of it, the way they characterize, or he characterizes Batman and Green Lantern, and the way Superman looks, but just in this world, and it's really, really cool looking. And if you look him up right now, he's actually doing a what if take with Marvel on Miles Morales being the Hulk. Not Bruce Banner, but Miles Morales taking the mantle, well, not taking the mantle, but becoming Hulk instead. And his quotes on it is really fascinating. So everyone loves Miles. He's the good guy, but now he's taken on, now he's becoming the madman, the Hulk. And it's going to be very interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah. Yep. And like I said, since it's, Black History Month, we only got like a week left or so of, there's a bunch of other comics out. Nubia is making a lot of headway in DC. If you want to know who Nubia is Wonder Woman's sister. And she's a very beautiful Egyptian Black woman. Definitely check it out. Amazon Queen. She's getting very big news. She's making huge headlines. They are promoting the mess out of Nubia. I believe she's getting a TV series, or it's either a TV series or a movie or something that's in talks or works right now. Really excited about that, because it's really going to be nice to see the two worlds, at a different standpoint for different points of view, and then how they're going to come together in the end. And I hope whoever they have that plays her, enjoys the comic. I'm pretty sure they will. So it's just really nice to see that. Also, there is I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a Black Batman on a comic book. I saw it last time we did the podcast. I was trying to find it. But it's interesting because that Batman I think he's in his own universe, Gotham universe. But they said that he's getting ready to meet his version of Joker, which I was like, damn, I didn't even know that comic existed. Let me see if I can look it up right now, and that way I can tell you.
Are you talking about Batwoman, the TV show? Because they do have their own version of the Joker on the TV show, and it's not what you expect. It's an actual comic book series.
It's actually a comic.
The Joker soon.
DC Comics reveals the identity of their black. I just hate how they say they're Black Batman.
Yeah.
Feature slate. It's Feature Slate Comics. Let's see.
There's actually a lot of I don't know if it was last time we were on or once again the podcast, but it's really
Tim Fox is his name.
Tim Fox. Ooh, yeah. It's really
Lucius Fox's son.
Ooh,
yes, that's right.
That's actually really cool.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. Damn. I might have to go pick that up. Now that I'm like connecting dots here, it makes a lot of sense. Again, I just hate how they just keep saying the Black Batman. I'll just say, anyway, the Black Batman is Tim Fox, estranged son of Lucius Fox and the brother of the former Batwing, Luke Fox. The character was revealed in a variant cover by Doug Braithwaite. I'm pretty sure Braithwaite. I'm pretty sure I ruined his name. He has a very interesting name. And Diego Rodriguez with DC's Future Slate. Next Batman #2. The next Batman is after Bruce died. Yep.
They're doing a lot of cool things with Batman right now. Obviously, you have the movie coming out, so it's like Batman heavy right now in DC. I mean, it's generally always Batman heavy in DC, but you have Gary Whitta's take that's coming out in a mini series. You have the prequel that I think for the movie that comes out now. Obviously, this take on it. You got Nubia obviously coming out as far as Wonder Woman goes. DC's trying to refresh itself in the comic world, and I think that's going to be good for everybody. I mean, Marvel has had a strong grasp on it for God knows how long now, I would want to say, and it's nice to see, or hopefully them switching it up and starting to take a little bit of back with storytelling and writing and artists. Like, for instance, some of the posters that just came out for the Batman with Boss Logic and oh my God, what's his name? Another famous artist look absolutely incredible.
I've seen one he did. Yeah, he did one recently for Wanda as well.
Yes,
Wanda for him. Yeah, I've seen that one. So just to give you guys a little backdrop, so I don't, listeners that may not be avid comic book goers or anything, you're probably thinking, I've heard this argument many a times like, they're just trying to, marginalize this and inclusivity. I mean, inclusivity should be a thing anyway, but how people just get mad. They're like, they're taking our characters and making them this just to check a quota box. Well, just before anybody says that, Tim Fox has been around for a very long time, very, very long time, since 1989. And he's been featured in Batman comics before. So this is not a new character. It's just that they're starting to bridge light. The fact that it's being talked about in February, is that a coincidence? Probably not. We still got to deal with that, but that's just how it is. At least we're being talked about. But the comic book looks dope. It looks dope. The art looks dope. I'm interested in it. I'm just going to check it out. One thing I'm interested in is just seeing how they're going to deal with, like what's the story going to revolve around, how they're going to do it and stuff like that. Very interested in this.
As long as if it's something different, that's crazy, and that's awesome in the best way, right? Yeah. Like as the amount of stories that could be told by different writers, different artists is incredible. I mean, we could do it too. Like, now is the time to create your stories, create your vision, because there's so many different avenues to bring it out there in so many different ways. So whether it's Lucius Fox's estranged son taking up the mantle as Batman with the Batwing being his brother, like that's cool. Just hearing that story. Obviously, the Thrill League, it's awesome.
That's a great way to reintroduce Batman to new generations without having to recast the same story over and over again.
Yep, exactly.
Black Wolf says, what are your thoughts on 3D comics? I know it will not be as best as drawing comics. The 3D art comics is getting very good as well. 3D comics. I mean, I'm going to sound so boomer when I say this. I'm a man of tradition. I don't like change. No. 3D comics I look at it like anime being cell shaded, There's a lot of cell shading 3D in anime, even though anime is 2D, whatever, most of the cases. I'm not a big fan of it because I feel like you lose some detail with it. Even though 3D is very detailed, don't get me wrong. I just feel like it's
different.
It's too much. Yeah, it's just it's like an overselling of the characters. I feel like 3D belongs in visual motion stuff. Even with cell shading in 2D, when it comes to anime, I'm not a fan of the cell shade. It would have to be so close to 2D that I have to question, is it 2D? And that's when I'm kind of like digging it. But I will say I like marrying both worlds. I just don't want one to be over the other one.
Yeah.
For instance, in anime, a lot of times where they do camera pan shots and have let's say a coach with horses, running down the road, and that camera's panning like this. 9 times out of 10, the coach and the horses are going to be cell shaded, like 3D cell shaded models. But the environment's 2D, and the characters inside the coach is 2D. It's just helping them with the pan so they hit every angle instead of having to draw that. I can dig that because it's two worlds being married together. Some MMOs that have 2D characters and 3D backgrounds. I can marry that. That's good. But when it's a whole comic book in 3D, me personally, I'm not ready for that. It's kind of like VR. It's like playing an MMO in VR. I'm not ready for that. I just feel like some of the creativity is lost in trying to, models kind of overdo the backgrounds, or everything is just too much for your eyes to take in and then see at one time. And I just feel like 3D belongs better in motion. Also, think of it like CGI and realistic, shots and stuff like that. If the CGI is not done enough to be marrying both worlds where you can't tell the difference, I'm completely going to be distracted by it. So that's how I feel about that. I just think that there's a right time and place for something, and I don't know about 3D comics are kind of like, eh. I mean, I don't even like reading comics the way they're positioned digitally. How they move around the page and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. Granted, it leads to hype, but there's splash pages that you can't really get the same wow factor out of it unless you're looking at the whole page.
Yeah, just give me the whole page, and then I'll pinch zooming out when I need to, if I need to at that point. I feel like 3D comic, then it's just a show. Like, it's just it's kinda, like if it's animated, obviously, right? But then, like, I can't just see like a panel just being 3D.
Yeah,
it's weird. It just like doesn't click in my head. Are you going to see more digital focus on comics Yeah, I mean that's the same thing with video games,
motion
right?
comics are okay.
Yeah,
but
like,
they're 2D with like motion.
Like the way they do the trailers for like the new comic series of Iron Fist or something. How it's a trailer, it's all the comic art, it's just cut out and pasted and you know they give it depth by rendering it and playing it out in like Premiere.
Like if somebody's punching, they start here and then you know it does the frames. I'm cool with that because
that's cool. Yeah.
But,
it's the same art.
I think comic books or just comics in general should stay, you know, that way, you know, unless it's just done in a way where it wows me. But I'm not wowed very easy. I'm a very big person on detail and I notice everything. So, yeah, it's kind of a hard sell for me, Black Wolf. Moving on to, let's talk about a couple of things. I'm going to look up some indie stuff as well. You can start the next topic, Matt.
So as far as comic announcement and news, before we get into some like movies and TV stuff, there's actually a bunch of stuff being announced and going on and starting to happen over the next couple of weeks. Recently, a Iron Cat armor series is coming out, and she's returning under villain control in the latest Iron Man, which is interesting. I forgot how many irons there were, especially with Iron Cat.
But that's interesting, right? Because wasn't there news recently about Iron Man training Black Cat or something? I can't remember the top of my head. There was something about him training Black Cat, but there was like a relationship between Black Cat, Iron Man, and Spider-Man. It was something dealing with that, or maybe Black Cat was training Spider-Man. I can't remember. Well,
so this is it. So Jed MacKay, Black Cat run, received widespread praise from comic book fans, and Marvel Comics has returned that the writer is returning for Iron Cat, a new limited series with artist Pierre Perez. The series will see Black Cat team up with Iron Man to investigate the reemergence of the extraordinary Iron Cat armor. So Black Cat doesn't necessarily seem to be in the Iron Cat armor. There's something nefarious going on there.
Because it's under
Now where that's coming from or what's happening with it, the art is awesome. Like I just looked it up on a comic book movie. It hit stores in June. The different types of art that's out there and variant covers are absolutely amazing. There's even a Series 4 figure for Iron Cat that they even showing out here that looks sick. But I like melding that world of Black Cat, who you put that type of she's dope. She's
very underrated.
Yeah, and I mean the way she moves and how she can go head to head with Spider-Man and other, just because of how smart and agile she is. Put her in Iron Man armor, she's awesome.
Have not superpowers, but like, I want to say superpowers, but like, she's not normal.
She has like some type of enhancement, like a meta G.
She has like enhancement stuff, almost like super soldier serum or something of that nature. But yeah, she doesn't get a lot of credit. I mean, she is Catwoman of Marvel. We know that they're both thieves. They're both like cat, dressed up in cat armor. They're both sexy. But I'm really, really excited to see where they're going with it. And I would be really excited to see Black Cat in the MCU. I think now that it's a perfect setup if you really want to think about it. Now that Spider-Man is dolo, and Tom Holland Spider-Man, and he's got his, he gave away the tech because it was cheating, so to speak. Wanted to grow on his own and learn how to be a Spider-Man of his own. We finally got our traditional Spider-Man now. So we did get an origin story. They said we technically got an origin story. It took
3 movies to get to the origin story.
To get to the original Spider-Man, the ultimate Spider-Man, I should say. It would not surprise me if Black Cat is in the next movie, Spider-Man movie, if we get it. We're still waiting for the word.
Yeah, I mean, they have so many different areas that they can go with this franchise now, especially with their relationship with Marvel, whether it's Black Cat, Gwen Stacy, doing the full-on Spider-Verse that they've been talking about with what's her name from the Gray movies being Madam Web apparently now, obviously Morbius, and there's so many different ways they can go, and doing Black Cat story. I mean, if there's anyone else going to do like
is now gone, so to speak. I mean, she's not gone, but things happen.
Who are
and
you?
Yeah, he didn't fulfill what he said he was going to do, which is I hope they address that.
Yeah,
It's got to be hard for him not to address those. Man, I'm starting to see some really like great montages people are putting together. Somebody did no Homecoming with him and Ned met in the hallway and they were like, doing their thing, whatever. And then they hugged each other and they snapped it to where they hugged each other at the end of No Way Home. And I was just like, damn, like
got me.
Our Ned. We won't see our Ned again. That sucks, But apparently Zendaya is still in MCU. So we don't know what they're going to do. Will she be Spider-Woman? Who knows? Will she be Mayday?
Ooh.
Who knows? We don't know. I mean, we don't know what they're going to do with that. What are they going to actually do? I don't think she'll be Mayday, but who knows? Whatever they're going to do. But they talked to her about being a superhero of some sort. So we'll see what she does. It's going to be interesting to see it from the sidelines.
I feel like we've been able to Marvel in some aspects kind of foresee what they're going to do, or they have like a path and we could say, okay, they're probably going to go here and here. With Spider-Man, with so many different areas that they can kind of go and move. And with the announcement they made with, freshman year, I think it was the animated series that they're doing. Yeah. After that, and even with that, I have no idea where they're going. And it's fun to think of, and it's fun to see, because we've given them so much flack about Spider-Man, but now over the past X amount of years, they've done it right. So I'm to a point where it's like, all right, you go with it. Make me be surprised. Let's see what you got now. Instead of, what are they doing with Spider-Man?
I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for it. It's like whatever they do is going to be great. Funny enough, since we're mentioning what can happen, so we all know that Charlie Cox, our Matt Murdock, is in the MCU. They gave him a little snippet. We'll probably get a lot more from the director's cut once the movie comes out.
March 22nd on digital. They pushed it back. I thought it was supposed to be this week. Yeah, they pushed it back.
It was supposed to be on the 28th, I thought. But they pushed it back probably due to their I know my theater's doing reviewings of it or something like that. See it again, type thing. Netflix, Marvel. Are we good?
Yeah, we might. I think we just hit a blip. I just noticed that. Yep.
Netflix Marvel movies are coming to Disney Plus. We're talking about Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage. That's promising. That's really nice. I kind of want to hit up Mike and be like, yo, man.
Mr. Coulter, yeah.
Coming back? I want to hit him up and be like, are you coming back? When are you going to be in South Carolina again? So it's really cool. He's from here, from South Carolina. His family's here and everything. But I'll be so happy if he gets to play Luke Cage again. I thought he was a fantastic Luke Cage. I just think the writing could have been better. Jessica Jones, fantastic.
Kristen Ritter, yeah.
I thought it was a really good series. That was a really good series. I thought it almost felt like Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and Luke Cage was more DC than Marvel. It just felt that way to me. Because it was
interesting,
gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was gritty. It didn't feel Marvel-y. It didn't feel Disney at all. And of course, Charlie Cox being Matt Murdock, I thought he was a fantastic Daredevil. I think he's a fantastic Daredevil. Definitely wouldn't have put him up there for Daredevil and for original casting, but my God, is he good? So I'm very, very interested in seeing that. What is going to do on Disney Plus, and I feel in my heart, if the numbers are really good, they might bring these shows back.
But that's not the only ones though. Like I know Iron Fist is going over, which I personally don't care about, but
yeah,
I don't know what
that's a foot mat right there.
Don't go there. But oh my God, what is it? A Punisher too. I did not expect Punisher going there because of how heavy that specific one is. I mean, not saying that the other ones aren't with sex and violence and drug references.
Jessica Jones is breaking beds and stuff. Hey man, I don't know. But maybe that's hopeful for the future. Maybe maybe this is a way for Disney to kind of test the fields and see, can we do the Netflix route, or can we do this? Because Netflix don't care, boy. They'll show a set of boobies in a heartbeat. So we'll see. We'll see. I think having it's going to sound weird for me to say having an adult section on a Disney Plus.
Yeah,
but adult as in like 18 and up, like your ratings on Disney Plus would be good because you can put parental controls and stuff just like anything else. You know, so I think that would be really nice, and see Marvel go that route, and maybe they'll get Old Man Logan and all those other movies on there. That'd be pretty dope since they own Fox. I mean, that division of Fox. But anyway,
throw them all over.
Let's talk about some indie stuff, man. We don't really give indie love as much love as we should.
This one I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot of comics in the indie world that are doing very well, and we're not talking about like creators that are not creators, but houses that you never heard of before. We're talking about like a Dark Horse, Image Comics, stuff like that. Typically, a lot of people go to these publishers or for having freedom to be able to do their own story without having a strict lore base, behind it, and like characters that have been developed since the 60s and 80s, and they have to follow that league. I mean, sometimes it does follow those characters, and they get rights to do some indie stuff off those characters. There's a lot of cool comics out that have a lot of great artwork. There's a list that was made in 2021, but we kind of consider it now. We're only in like Q1 of of the year, so it kind of folds over.
It's already March though, essentially. That's scary to think of.
It's already for quarter one is almost coming to a close. Barbaric is a comic. It's written by Michael Morecki.
Words are hard for us.
It's these names, they got the foreign names. It's hard. Nathan Gooden, and it's by Vault Comics, which Vault Comics has been around for a good bit. So definitely check out anything Vault Comics. This reminds me of like old Image. The art very much favors Walking Dead. If you remember the Walking Dead comics,
those are great.
It's one of the rare titles that really, really, really show. It kind of gives you that old comic book feel. With what I mean by that is like they're not afraid to explore gore and like killing things, because a lot of comics kind of stay away from that whole thing. You like knock people out, so to speak, or get people arrested, throw them in jail, and all that stuff. They're not really doing
Superman
that.
never killed anybody, but he just punched that man into an
yeah, they're gonna get punched through a building and they're still alive, seconds later. The premise is in line for a few barbarian and comic tropes. The main character is up against basically everything, but he also happens to have a talking axe that gets drunk on blood of immoral enemies. So that
sounds
pretty
awesome,
cool, man. Pretty cool. Apparently has a good bit of comedy in it, involved with it as well. And the art looks fantastic. It's called Barbaric. And oh God, didn't mean to do that.
You just
and don't worry, because later on down the line, we will have some ways to like have all the images and stuff up there show for you as well. We have some updates coming down the line that we'll have on there as well.
Yeah, we got some. We brought it up the other week and on the podcast. We got some really cool things happening on the channel, on the show over the next couple of weeks. It's just not a flick of the switch thing. So you'll be hearing more stuff about it. Go check out our Twitter. We're going to be posting more information on there, as well as Frank and I also love having the conversation with you on our own stuff. But go check out the Twitter. It's at The Comic Show. We'll post it in chat as well if you want to go and follow us now. But but yeah, comic books is more than just DC and Marvel. I know we've had a lot of talks about it. But you have so many other. You have Dark Horse Comics. You have IDW, which is actually one of the things next on the list that I want to talk about, because I grew up a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, as well as He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Seeing it revived on Netflix, He-Man was absolutely incredible, and hearing Mark Hamill back as Skeletor was dope. But if you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, their comic book series that they have been writing, especially over the past 5 to 7 years, their storylines, the last Ronin, and now they're actually bringing back, after I think they said 24 years, the first female turtle returns to the franchise. It's going to be later this year. I forgot her name, which is hilarious, but then I saw it and it's Venus de Milo. It's still, Michelangelo, Donatello, and now the girl is Venus de Milo, and the artwork is beautiful on it. The way it's being illustrated by Pablo Tunica, excuse me. So when it comes out, please go and check it out. If you've ever been a Turtles fan, whether it's through the old school movies with the puppeteering or comic books or TV shows, Turtles are now coming back. And it's not just with this one. There's a series out there called Ronin that came in 2 years ago, where I believe it's, spoiler but non-spoiler, all the turtles die but one, and they take up the Ronin persona, and it is a fantastic storyline that I think gets lost because it's always Marvel and DC. So please, please go and check it out. It's going to be available 127, 24 years soon. I'm trying to look for the date as to when it's coming out. I'm sorry, but I don't see it. But yeah, it's gonna be a May 7th, excuse me, May 7th on Free Comic Book Day, apparently. May 7th. Man, nice. May is, I mean, we're not even in March yet, but May is gonna be a wild month for a multitude of different reasons. My glob.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our childhood greats. Power Rangers have a really great comic book series.
Oh man,
that's just like explores Power Rangers in a different light than you would normally see on TV. Power Rangers gets pretty damn hardcore. Like
it's dark.
Some of these fight scenes in the comics is just like, I'm like, damn, I want to anime so bad of Power Rangers with no holds bar, like just going ham because they go in. Like,
did you see Did you see the last movie, the Lionsgate one? With oh my God, who played Zordon? Breaking Bad. What's his name? Bryan Cranston. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Don't even. When you get a chance, if you got like 5-10 minutes this week, I know you don't have any time, but you could probably even Google it. Like, I want you to watch the first. Don't watch anything else, but like the first 5 minutes of the movie. I think, Chad, if anyone watched it, and don't watch anything else. And I would love to know your opinion on it because I've watched everything Power Rangers. If you go, I could show you pictures. You'll laugh. I'll be making fun of myself. But Power Rangers, another one for me, dude.
With the
I had the
Green
gloves,
Ranger.
the one that goes, pew. Yeah, it's.
They got a big old belt buckle. Used to hold that shit up, be like, my dad be like, boy, you want to do your chores? Let me show you a Power Ranger. Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to get your thoughts just by watching that first like 5 minutes or so of the movie and see where it would go compared to where it ended up. It wasn't bad, but I thought it was, I like when I watched that first minutes, I'm like, they're doing it. This is going to be awesome. And I really would love, because of how you are with everything and how you said that, I would love to get your opinion and thoughts on it.
It's not that I didn't want to watch it. It's just that I didn't see it. But the original Power Ranger movie, bro.
Oh my God.
I went to school in my tight ass black pants and my big old Jordans with the alien looking shoes on and tight ass shirt with a gold chain. I was a Black Ranger. It was over. And, you know? We only had one thing back then, and that was that Ranger. So we had to take it, man. So it was, man, that movie was good. The song, the song, man.
Power Rangers.
That is just, man, that movie was something else. That movie was something else. I was so happy with that.
Dan, that was with Ivan the Ooze and oh my God.
Yeah, Ivan Ooze and what's his face?
Oh my God, the CGI in that movie. Oh my God, it was just like silver.
The enemies were there. You know, Rita was in it, and
Goldar was there. Goldar was there.
Yeah, Goldar was definitely in his trash talking.
Oh my God, what was
her husband? What was his name? Start with a Z. God.
Oh, Zed.
What was Rita's
was it Zed?
Ex-husband's name?
Was it Zed? Not Zed.
No, I don't. No, Lord Zed?
Lord Zed, yeah, it was Lord Zed. It was Lord Zed,
yeah. That movie, they had real life marriage problems, man. Like, every kid who had, like, parents divorcing and shit was just like, so you're Rita. You know, like, it's just, it's wild.
God. But, wow, I just looked up
years, I'm free! Like,
I just looked up the soundtrack, because I had, like, that song stuck in my head. I didn't realize Van Halen is on the soundtrack.
What?
Devo, how you pronounce it? Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, what? I didn't even realize that.
The soundtrack was bumping back then. It was great. Yeah, but yeah, Power Rangers, man. God. Even the video game slap. Like, Power Rangers is so good. There's a lot of fan made Power Ranger stuff. There was Power Rangers with versus Street Fighter fan made thing. I mean, legit. Like, going in on them fight scenes. It was so good. It's on YouTube. You guys want to check it out.
Well, the mobile,
all this fan made stuff.
The mobile game is actually really good, and it's got a lot of players. Was it the Morphing? I think it's called the Morphin Grid. It's really, really, also, really cool.
The FGC Power Rangers game was awesome. They put Ryu and Chun-Li in it. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
And they got their own Power Ranger forms. It was awesome. Ryu was shooting, like, instead of Hadoukens, he's shooting like these flaming phoenixes. Sick. Power Rangers Ninja Turtles, man. Like, those two, super good.
Perfect
super good.
timing.
Do yourself a favor if you have a child and you're listening. Show them the original Ninja Turtles movie. Like it's to this day, it's still gold.
It's the
like
best
100%.
Turtles. It's the best Turtles movie, period. And the original cartoon, like there's nothing that could compare nowadays. Like the Michael Bay stuff. No, we're getting a cartoon again of with Seth Rogen's production company behind it. The art looks cool, but like Have
you seen the anime version of Turtles?
I think I know what you're talking about.
They showed it on like this Western TV. It's not Eastern TV. Bro, there's a clip of the fight between them and Shredder. That was wild to me. I was like, what? And Leonardo's throwing his sword and it's turning into electricity. He teleports to it. It was so Naruto. I was just like, what is going on?
Give me more of this.
Awesome. Yeah, it was not our Turtles by any means, but it was awesome. I was like, yo, Western style going ham. Granted, it probably was animated in Korea. Let's just be real. But it was awesome. I was so into it. I'm probably gonna go back and watch that whole series. The Turtles didn't look like nothing like our Turtles. They were all like different. Like Raphael's like all big and buff, and like Leonardo's kind of like just small and skinny, whatever. But they all had like this style, you know. It was very hip hop and just new wave, new generation style. Ninja Turtles really dope.
Did you see? Speaking of Western, did you see the Batman anime when they came out with that a couple of years ago, and the Wolverine one too?
Wait, what you talking about? You talking about the Eastern version?
But no, it was like Star Wars Visions, where they did like 5 or 6
Samurai
Batman ones, and it was in part of like a DVD or Blu-ray when
I saw the
like,
Batman Samurai
the Christian
one.
Bale ones came out. There was like 5 or 6 of them. That was part of it. But then there was also, I don't know if it was like a Netflix. I think it was on Netflix. They did a Wolverine one as well, and
Wolverine is known for his samurai ones because he was in love with she, I think she was called SHI, the girl with the claws. Got her name on top of my head. My goodness, guys, my brain. But anyway, she's Japanese, originally.
That's what they were trying to do in the second Wolverine movie. They tried to do it, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, the Batman Ninja one was not. The art was fantastic, but the execution was
out there.
That was missed.
Okay.
We have our trips. Sometimes we fall down holes, but it's okay. That will never get revisited again. Hopefully. Yeah, Lady Deathstroke. There you go. That's Deathstroke. Well, I guess she is with size. My mind was in the right era, but it was the wrong person. Yeah. Yeah, Lady Deathstroke. Yes, she has those long ass claws. But anyway, Vault Comics is something to look for if you're looking for indie comics. Udon is another one. Udon did Street Fighter for a long time. Udon Comics did Street Fighter and Darkstalkers, pretty much all those FGC comics. I don't know if Udon is still, I know they're still around, but I don't know how much they're kicking out. Image, of course, Image Comics. That was the Spawn and stuff.
Sorry, Deathstrike, because Deathstroke is, it just popped in my head like, wait, Deathstroke is Batman.
DC
yeah,
thing.
sorry.
Yeah. Deathstrike. Sorry about that. Dark Horse Comics, of course.
Sorry,
Ahoy Comics, they're still around. Ahoy Comics is kind of like, I kind of got that weird old school, like golden age or bronze age type vibe to it. Oni Press, actually, if you're into
Oni Press
creation, you should hit up Oni Press because they love taking on new people. I know for sure. So just check that out if you're into doing comics.
Isn't IDW like that too?
Mm-hmm.
IDW and Oni Press there too. If you got a story,
Boom Studios is pretty much the same. Yep, those are the major indie like here comic. Of course, you have webtoons and stuff like that. You can always get on or webcomics. You can always do that. Webcomics is huge, by the way. Definitely should check that out. All right, since now we went over that stuff, that's kind of a combination of what we did when we did the podcast and what we wanted to talk about overall. When it comes down to, where is my sheet? Where's my blinding sheet? Did I put that up somewhere?
I mean, we got a couple more things on here as far as like comic stuff goes. Yeah, we're right by all right if we want to.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, the X-Force reveals new Sentinel drops. Yeah, so though I'm always for all these really cool designs of like, Wolverine and pretty much anybody from the X-Force or X-Men, they're not really new because they just kind of like blend the old with the new. So
yeah,
I'm a big fan of old Wolverine's outfit. I'm not really a big fan of the yellow and black. I think it's a little too much. I think it's cool. The great colors. I love the colors. But the brown, the bronze and yellow, or I say yellow and black, but he had a yellow and black in X-Force, and then he has the classic yellow and blue. But
like the original one was that like
the original one was
brown and light brown.
Yeah.
It was
brown,
two like
it was brown and yellow.
Yeah,
that's kind of where they're going.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks really good. I like the old classic Wolverine with the design of the mask being like, his hair has his own spot and his
it goes into it, yeah.
Which is really just pretty awesome because, I never understood why Peter Parker could get such perfect, his mask was so perfect with his hair, but I get it. Yeah, I mean, X-Force, man. Like, I think this is the part where I just kind of like shrug. There's so many teams in Marvel Universe. Maybe because I haven't really got excited about doing, having everybody. For me, anything Wolverine, X-Men, I get excited.
Yeah.
Avengers, I get excited. Fantastic Four, I get excited. But you got the in between, like, X-Force and what was there was another one a long time ago. X-Force has been around for so long though. There was another one in between that they had with with the cables in it and everything.
Oh, Cable, Bishop, and all them. Mm-hmm. I think it was still Future X-Men. I know what you're talking about.
It was one of the things. Yeah. Those comic books were like a dime a dozen. There were so many of them. But anyway, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, this they specifically talk about the design and in future episodes, Chad, you'll be able to see everything that we're seeing. They're redesigning.
X-Factor, that's it.
X-Factor.
Oh, yeah. Exactly what it is. Yep.
They're redesigning them, but it's kind of the same thing, like you said. It's the same design, just with little changes here and there. If anything, they're trying to go for more X-Men Last Stand, where they have like mutant abilities, the Sentinels, based on from what I'm seeing, but it's nothing really too crazy, I would say. There's no like big, no real big crazy like redesign or anything like that.
Right. So for those that are listening to the podcast and those that are live listening.
I live.
With X-Men, let's just take X-Men, for example. They've been fighting the Sentinels for so damn long, man. Mm-hmm. Generations. Don't you think it's time for them to fight a better force than that? Like, I just feel like the Sentinels, they've learned everything that they can learn. They've destroyed these things many a times over. These things are still in production. It feels like it's a rinse and repeat story. If Marvel, when Marvel revives X-Men, not only the cartoon, but let's just talk about an MCU, would you like to see X-Men take on real, like, bigger problems like the Avengers? Or are you okay with them taking on the Sentinels over and over again? I just feel like they always either fighting each other or they take it on the Sentinels. It's just nothing outside of that. What would you
that's a great question.
Like to see?
Yeah, because in the comic books, it's been Magneto and it's been the Sentinels, essentially, that have been the big bads. And Dark Phoenix, right? And Apocalypse. Right?
Yeah, Apocalypse.
And Apocalypse. Yeah. That was also in X-Men 97, which is going to be interesting to see how they bring that back with right afterwards. And in the movies, it was Magneto. It was themselves. Yeah. Then it was Peter Dinklage and the U.S. government. I don't know, like, what are the other big bads in the X-Men universe? Is it Marvel characters? Is it just like, what are the other big? Like,
I know they sometimes cross over, but I almost felt like X-Men's in their own universe. It feels, and like they're not. They're part of everything else. But for X-Men to be it's the way the story was explained is that, they're technically becoming extinct, because people are hunting them down and all that kind of stuff. But goddamn, do they fight each other all the time? It's like there's an X-Men everywhere. I'm like, what do you mean? So I'm just like, why are we having this issue? I understand why the conflict exists between each other. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I would love to see how X-Men would have handled Thanos. Let's just say if Thanos was a problem and Avengers went around, X-Men probably would have beat Thanos pretty easily. Rogue would have went up, touched him, just drained his shit, and made him fall down on the ground, take the glove off. GG's. You know, like I wonder how that would have happened.
Jean Grey and Professor X just mind him and he's done. Like he's put it.
Because
like,
if Mantis could have put him to sleep that way, like she had him.
Yeah, and Wolverine would have came across with, oh, nice hand with his like, come on.
So I'm confused.
There's still so like the Eternals made sense somewhat. There was that little hole with him being a deviant kind of sort of, but okay, whatever. You can kind of look past that. But where are the mutants right now? They didn't want to be in the mortal man side of it. Like they're not going to get blipped. Like I don't see how in the MCU at least, excuse me, I don't see how they're going to bring them in any other way than a fresh start. Like the mutant gene just now happened after Eternals. Not only that,
they could have the Xavier school, because that makes sense. They were excluded. They were in their own little area. They were trying to stay out of the heat of the news and media. He controlled his school for so long.
Wait, I'm sorry. That's
happens.
It. They
right.
So the blip is it. So, but like they brought it up in the Eternals. So they had the seed there. The seed was planted, right? Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the Eternals yet, for the new Celestial to be born. And through that, mutants, their genes were coming out and coming up, but nothing crazy was happening with them. So there probably is a Professor X school, and maybe that's the first original 5 or 6 mutants. But with both flips, that may have fast-tracked it, and now there's mutants running rampant. Running rampant, that's what it is, after the blip. The blip is what pushed the mutant gene forward, and now they're here because of it. Maybe.
Or the original X-Men team were a thing that whole time, and we just don't know about it. And because there's wars being fought all over the place. True. I mean, just like we didn't know about Katie Bishop and what she went through all those years, quote unquote.
Yeah.
With the attack on New York, or maybe the attack on New York in the Xavier school, they knew what was going on. They were like, we can't interfere. The world is not ready for us. Who knows? Because with Quicksilver being a thing and Wanda, they are mutants. So I am very, very intrigued on how they're going to introduce them. But I mean, even past the MCU, I wonder what they're going to do with X-Men 97. Like in this X-Force comic, I'm just like, bro, are we still dealing with Sentinels? Like, we still dealing with these guys? So that's kind of what I want to think. I want to know is like, how are we going to introduce some new stuff? How are we going to bring in the new generation of readers to grip them on X-Men? Because all the X-Men are cool, but what they're fighting is just kind of redundant. What are you guys' thoughts on the theory that the MCU takes place is a post House of M reality? We go back and forth about this all the time. It gives us hope, and then it doesn't. It's they hold us up and then they drop us every time. I'm waiting to see where they go to give a final thought on that. I at first I was like, oh, this might be House of M.
I mean, that's what we thought. Always like Wanda, right? Wanda Vision. Right. We thought they were going there with it, especially with her throwing up the comic book. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can speak on it too. I'm just saying, like, we don't know. So I thought House of M was a thing when they showed Wanda and Quicksilver in that laboratory setting.
Yeah,
I was like, House of M. That's the first thing that popped in my mind, but then it just kind of went away. But Marvel is good about that crap. They're literally good about putting it'll be a person in the background that you barely notice that might have red hair. And next thing you know, that person pops up as Jean Grey later on. You're like, oh, that was Jean Grey the whole time. I didn't know that, So that's a good question. That's a really good question. I think it's a good place for them to start introducing that stuff. I think they could do it, especially with the Multiverse of Madness. They could do it.
Yeah, I mean, we theorize that we're in, Earth 616 because of Loki, but it's still never actually been confirmed or not.
It was confirmed by Mysterio, but we could take that with a grain of salt.
Yes. Oh, yeah. In Spider-Man Far From Home. But we have to take that with a grain of salt because we know he wasn't a multiverse traveler. Yeah.
But he knew about it was real. See, I don't know why that was a thing.
Like, did he know about it? Well, okay, so he had to know about it But then it's crazy. Then obviously Shield knew about it too.
So did Robert Downey Jr.
I mean, it had to have been, right? Because of
he
how Beck was.
He prefaced. I think he prefaced the whole thing. Remember how he would make quotes in like the Age of Ultron? He was like, "This is just the beginning. Shit about to get real," type thing.
Oh yeah.
Like he knew all this was happening. So I wonder if he did. You know, him and Bruce Banner were screwing around with stuff all the time.
I mean, he freaking came up with time travel. So
yeah. I mean, even quantum. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I think not all the holes have been filled yet for us to like really paste it together, but it definitely something is there. It's either House of M. We know we're getting Secret Invasion.
We're thinking that we may get Secret Wars. I know the Russos are back in talk with Marvel, so we may get these Secret Wars, even though it hasn't been officially confirmed.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's this multiverse.
We just got to see what they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna do Young Avengers or a different team, or if they're gonna do multiple teams. Like once we start getting the concrete evidence of what they're gonna do, right now they're just kind of like putting everybody together, you know?
Yeah.
I think Multiverse of Madness is going to give us a lot to think about. I don't think it's going to answer a lot of questions.
So Multiverse of Madness comes out on May the 4th, be with you, which is a Wednesday. So in theory, we will have an episode on the 7th. So I don't know. I mean, that's obviously looking ahead, chat, but I feel like there's going to be a big conversation around that, amongst other things, especially if you start seeing these trailers and TV spots, out there. We're going to be left with more questions than we have answers, but it's definitely going to put us out on that trajectory of, okay, this is the next phase 4, 5, and 6, how it was the Infinity Saga. This is now going to be the Multiverse Saga. We're not going to get any answers, but we're going to get some, but we're going to have a lot more questions than anything.
Yeah.
I still want to know if we're going to figure out now who's going to be the big bad. I said this in the podcast. Eternals set us up for 2 sagas from now. It kind of like backdropped where we are now to where we're going to go. It put the close to the blip. This is the big arching story that's probably going to happen 15 to 20 years from now, because we're going to go multiverse. We're going to clean up multiverse in the next 4 or 5 years in the Multiverse Saga, like it was the Infinity Saga. And then I think as soon as the Multiverse Saga ends, Judge is going to come down and then starts the Galactic Saga, the Celestial Saga, like the world-ending saga. That's the way I see it. I can't see
Guardians of the Galaxy is going well. I mean, we have Warlock and all that stuff. Well, you know, Lars, actually thinking about what you said now, it really makes sense that House of M is going to be a thing. It really does, because House of M started technically with Scarlet Witch.
I mean, it is her
born, right? And she created that. It's all about her children at the end of the day, right? She like suffered a mental breakdown, trying to recreate her children. I mean, we got some of that. And in the Multiverse of Madness, there's another version of her cuddling herself that looked like she is not right. And it's revisiting. It looks like it's revisiting the house in WandaVision, or at least that area.
Yeah, with the 2 of them there. I mean, but that could be Agatha all along. You don't really necessarily know.
But like Scarlet Witch is on her knees and
she's
Wanda is like, you pitiful, poor little thing, and looking emotional. You might be right, Lars.
Or this may wait. Right. So he's saying that it starts, what we're watching right now where we are is post House of M. Are you saying you think this is going to be the start of House of M, Multiverse of Madness?
Right. And I think,
is that what you're saying? Sorry.
Wanda's the key to reverting Earth 616 back to his original state, or House of M Multiverse of Madness happens. House of M happens. We need to tell him the truth. That quote is wild to me. And the fact that it's Professor X giving that quote, it could be, Lars. You could be onto something, man. You could be onto something, because now that I think about it, the Age of Apocalypse could happen. You know?
So the big thing with the House of M, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, is her saying no more mutants. Right? That's like, I mean, there's a lot of other things to the story, but that is a big portion of it. So if that's going to be the case, if this is going to be the start of a House of M-esque story, obviously we don't have quote unquote mutants right now within our storyline. How would it be no more heroes? Like, what would I guess, what would that take be? Like, I don't
see. And that's why I say they pick us up and they drop us. It's like WandaVision was like, oh. And then we're just like, oh, okay. You have all these powers. You know about the multiverse. You know how extremely powerful you are. You can literally recreate realities, but you're going to go pick some peaches on a farm somewhere. Like, what's really happening here? You know, so I think we're going to get our answer in Multiverse of Madness when it comes to Wanda, period.
Okay.
Because at the end of WandaVision, I was like, what does that mean? Where's Vision going? Like, it's a lot of questions. Maybe she just has enough when she finds that her vision is back, so to speak. You know, White Vision is technically our Vision now because he unlocked everything. Been reborn, stronger. What do we have there? There's a lot of questions. One thing I can tell you is that MCU definitely takes things, bits and pieces from different universes in comics, and different Earths in comics, and put them into their Earth 616. The thought of House of M already happening, that's kind of wild to me, unless it happened, but like we just didn't see it, and they're going to revisit it with the mutants. I don't know.
Or it happened while she was like, when she was.
There is a time skip.
She doesn't know a lot of things that happened to her prior to the switch, like what we saw in WandaVision. So it could be shortly after that. It could be shortly before that. Like,
well, it's not that she didn't know. She created to where she locked it away.
Yeah,
because she lost it. And see, that could be the mental breakdown at that point. But I think the mental breakdown of her kids was worse. But then in WandaVision, she was like, she cried, but she wasn't flipping out about it. She knew what she had to do.
And what is she called? She's called a Nexus being, but a Nexus being isn't one being throughout the whole multiverse. It's that she is the same person throughout the multiverse. So she is always the Scarlet Witch throughout the multiverse. So they may pull a what if with Ultron, where he was the big bad. He went into the multiverse, came out. Maybe she'll be the big bad of this all, not just multiverse madness, but throughout, where there is a variant of her, kind of like but then we also have this Kang story that we're supposed to have.
But if there's a variant of her, that variant is,
what are they gonna do?
I don't know, because the variant of, let's say if it's a variant of her, it didn't look like she was very knowledgeable of what was going on. That variant, at least just from what we were looking at. There's that
one scene in the trailer where she's in that glass house, what it looks like the Watcher. Uwu? No, not Uwu. What's his name?
Undo or
like that he's in. Like, it looks like for coming from the show in there. Like,
but I think it's because she can traverse multiverses. But so can Chavez.
Or just in general.
And she could just travel to multiverses. I mean, she's, once she becomes Scarlet Witch, that's it. But I'm really interested in what they're going to do with Adam Warlock. And I'm really interested in seeing what they're going to do with Chavez. Because Chavez can do the same. So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. And then, Gwen Stacy can do the same. Like, I wonder what they're going to do, overall. And I mean, fuck, Eternals, and not only Eternals, but we have, oh my God, losing my mind right here. I mean, we already know about Doctor Strange. There's somebody else.
Watcher. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't think of
how they're going to do it, man. I don't know how they're going to do it, and how they're going to introduce. I think what if people are going to be introduced to the Multiverse of Madness? I think we're going to get an answer with that because Captain Carter is. So
who do you think? I mean, who do you think the six are? So for those of you who don't know, if you watch the trailer, there's a theory that if you go back and look, we talked about this on the podcast. If you haven't yet, go check out the podcast. That's on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and a bunch of other different areas. It was our last week's episode because we weren't live, but we talked about the Multiverse of Madness trailer and who we think that group is that handcuffs our Doctor Strange and brings him in, and that's where you hear Patrick Stewart's voice. There's essentially six people. It's supposedly a group within the Marvel comic universe, and now that they're bringing to the movies, called the Illuminati. That I believe the original 6, if I remember correctly, was Professor Xavier,
Blackbird, or
Reed Richards. So Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, Namor. That's 4, and then who are the other 2?
I think it's like Blackbird or Black Bolt.
Black Bolt, original Illuminati. Oh God, I'm gonna get like kicked off by typing this in. Members, Marvel, not in general. Okay. So, Black Bolt. Oh, and Iron Man. Excuse me. So
Iron Man,
Namor, Black Bolt, Iron Man, Professor X, Doctor Strange, and Reed Richards. Fantastic Four. So we already seen or believe one is still Professor X. We think it's Mordo is taking the place of essentially like Doctor Strange because of how his hair is and what he's wearing. Do you have any idea or thoughts on who the other 4 maybe if they go that route?
I think that's how we're going to get introduced to the Fantastic Four.
So you think that's him
for later date?
You think that could be him?
I think it's a good place for us to see him.
Now, would you say?
I think everybody's banking on it too. Whether we actually get to see him or it's a silhouette that is to be determined. Marvel loves doing silhouettes and loves doing back shots to people without any logos. So you leaves it up to the imagination. I don't know. I mean, I think they're gonna go with the original. I mean, Black Bolt. I feel like they should introduce him. He's powerful as hell. Like
he's a big character. Yeah.
Yeah. They really should introduce him.
Do you think we'll see?
It's very interesting.
Do you think we'll see like a version of Black Panther instead of Namor or Namor, however you pronounce it? Like maybe it's Killmonger. Maybe they bring back him for it.
That's why everybody wants. So all right. So people are asking not for a recast, but for a new Black Panther.
Yeah.
Because they feel like it'll honor Chadwick Boseman more than anything to have someone pick up the mantle.
Yeah, not T'Challa, but a new Black Panther.
Not T'Challa, not. But we already know that Shuri is supposed to take that spot. Obviously, I mean it's everywhere in the comics, and if it's Shuri in the Illuminati, I'm here for it because I feel like she's a good person for it. She's basically a younger Tony Stark at the end of the day. You know, she has lineage. She's smart. They have technology that goes beyond most people on Earth. Yeah, I think she'd fit.
What about a Captain Carter? Since we already see her in the multiverse already.
I don't think Captain Carter. I think Captain Carter is going to fit a role like American Chavez in the movie. I think she's just going to come out of a portal, or maybe they'll go where What If left off, and they have Nick Fury there, and that group of people that they built together. I'm really hoping that Iron Man is not going to be Tom Cruise. And he's going to show up.
So, okay, how about this? If are you on a plus 50% or a negative 50% that you think Iron Man will show up in Multiverse of Madness? No, just Iron Man in general. Himself. Do you think he's going to show up?
I think we're going to get a version of Iron Man no matter what. Right. We kind of have to at this point. I think we're going to get one. I think emotions are going to be like, and then we're not going to probably see who it is. If it's Tom Cruise, goddamn, I don't know. People are banking on that. I mean, I hate it because when people bank on stuff, it normally happens because somebody knows something, and it'll just hurt me personally if it happens.
Nim, yes, you're right. Namor is Submariner, aka Marvel's Aquaman. He's generally the one that him and Wakanda go a lot of back and forth on. Hence why people are thinking Wakanda Forever will introduce him as well. But it's interesting. I'm going to
introduce the original not the original Black Panther, but
so what happens if that's Professor X and they don't go Iron Man in the trailer, and you see what looks like Ultron bots? What happens if they're not Ultron bots? What happens if they're Sentinels? And Professor X and the Illuminati figured out how to rework them. Maybe they're not Ultron bots.
Oh, I don't know.
They look like them. They look like the design. It looks like the superior Iron Man with how it's sleek. It's very silver. It still looks menacing, but it also looks clean. But if they don't want to do anything Iron Man because of everything we've read before, even with What If, how the writers and directors of it said, no, just we have to, like, we can't do Iron Man, just past it.
We got to move
like,
on.
We got to move on past it. Like, what happens if it's Sentinels instead? And that's what Patrick Stewart is talking about.
I mean, that makes a little bit more sense.
Professor X, excuse me.
It makes more sense. And then that makes sense for their Secret Wars. Does make sense.
I know if we think of Sentinels as these big, huge, hulking, monstrosities, but maybe they're in this, in what we're doing, they're
maybe it's early
repurposed for
stage of
this.
Sentinels. Maybe it's early stage. I mean, we don't know what the timeline is. It could be early stage Sentinels. Yeah, because I mean, even the Kree Sentinels, so to speak, look like Sentinels. So I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna go with it. It's just a lot of questions. We just don't have enough, puzzle pieces to put this stuff together until we see Multiverse of Madness, which I'm pretty sure that was Marvel's goal to begin with, was to give us a bunch of like what if questions and then piece it together as these movies are released. But Moon Knight, I really hope they go with Midnight Suns as well. I think that's a really good place for them to start exploring a little bit more grittier, content. With Blade and Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, all those boys. I think those guys are just not your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man type stuff. These people beat the heck out of people in submission. I think Wolverine, all that stuff, that's a good place to have them.
Ooh.
But then again, who knows?
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, Moon Knight, from everything that Oscar Isaac has been saying in his rounds that he's been doing recently, it's not going to be like anything we've seen. They're not really holding back any punches. This is going to be the Moon Knight that you think you're going to get, essentially. So, I mean, if that's the case, like I said, I'm all for it. I would like to see Marvel dig into that mythos more, or that type of character and production, and just not like cookie cutter stuff. So, I mean, if that's the case, then you have obviously Morbius with Jared Leto, Ali's Blade, even Kit's Black Knight. Like, that's, I'm all for it. I'm all for it if they're going to go that route. Because now, would you want to see that? I mean, here you go. Do you want to see it as a movie, or do you want to see it as a Disney Plus show? And
which one?
Like, if it's a Midnight Suns, like, is that going to be a movie, or is that going to be a show?
I think a movie would be good. I think introducing the characters in the series would be dope, and then throwing them in a movie. I think that would be great. I don't know how well series takes having so many stars at once. They haven't seen that yet. It was always in twos. Yeah,
you're right.
So I don't know how all that will work.
The biggest
especially
was
with all those heroes.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest was What If, but then it just all culminated in the last two episodes.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was. Yeah, they were all two. Damn.
Oh, so to go back on Miles Morales, geez, I just saw some news. They're doing a lot with Miles Morales. They're not just doing the Hulk. They're doing Miles Morales as Wolverine and Miles Morales as Captain America.
Oh, so it's a whole What If series based on
Miles Morales.
Wow, that's cool.
Damn. Okay, boy. So a character that people hated when he first came out because they thought it was replacing Peter Parker, now just getting, obviously they're banking off those numbers. Miles Morales game to this day,
God, it's so good,
is one of the best selling games on PlayStation 5. And not only that, his comic books sell like water. That's pretty dang cool, man.
So we got Miles Morales Hulk, Miles Morales, what else?
Wolverine, and Miles Morales Captain America.
Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah.
The title of the series is Star Spangled Man with a Plan. Interesting. Miles Morales receives the powers of Wolverine, Incredible Hulk, and Captain America. I love it, but I really hope they're not just doing this because of the hype on Miles Morales. Granted, that's probably are, but I don't know. Amazing Spider-Man, like the new revamp of Amazing Spider-Man. I wonder how that's going. Anybody reading that out there? If you are, let us know in the comments, or let us know in chat. If you dig into new Spider-Man, I have not dove into it yet. I like to give it the series a little bit of birth, let it have a couple of books, because you can't go off of one comic and be like, yeah, this is great, and then it'd be horrible. But the new Amazing Spider-Man is the Ben Reilly outfit. I don't, is it surrounding Ben Reilly? But I know it is the Scarlet Spider when he takes over Spider-Man with the role of Spider-Man. So we'll see that. We'll see that. New Black Panther is scheduled as well, with variant covers of Shuri.
Oh, so wait a second. Marvel Comics will be celebrating Spider-Man's 60th anniversary all year in 2020. He's been around 60 years now this year. That's wild. You forget how long Spider-Man has been around.
Spider-Man was one of the first.
So I wonder what they're gonna do. I mean, obviously, comic-wise, they'll have some cool stuff.
Spider-Man was like one of the first ones they made. Yeah.
Wow. After a few months on the sideline, Peter Parker is back as Amazing Spider-Man's main Spidey, while the concurrent star of the title, Peter's clone, Ben Reilly, faces uncertain future. Ooh.
Well, they're going to kill off Ben Reilly? I mean, he's been killed many times, but...
I don't know. But, this is going to be... If they go ham, this is going to be an interesting year for Spider-Man, because, looking, just scrolling down up until April and May, some of the... Oh, that's an old school one. That's awesome. Going through and just seeing some of the art. It'd be cool if they do something Madam Web and just Spider-Verse related at the end of the year. It's like Spider-Man 2099. And wait, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse come out this year or next year?
It's this year.
Part 1. It is 2022. It'll be kind of cool how they interact and do something like that, man. Interesting.
Yeah. So this is very interesting. So we know that Letitia, last name, say White, but Shuri from the MCU finally got her stuff together. And we don't know if they're going to start filming or anything anytime soon, but hopefully they do continue with that. It's interesting. Right. That's it. Right. I was on a right, no puns intended, right path. All the new Black Panther comic books coming out is about her and T'Challa being off planet, which they're probably going to do that. They're probably going to say that T'Challa is off planet, and they're probably going to go that route. But the new comic books, man, gorgeous art. Oh my God, these covers are just so gorgeous. They're water painted and everything. Watercolor painted. It looks great. So it's Shuri's life hangs in the balance. T'Challa off the planet. Things are not looking good, but before T'Challa can help his sister, truth finally comes out. Has the assassin's ringleader finally been called? So they're in a heated moment right now. I remember when they revamped the Black Panther comic books when Black Panther was coming out. He returned to Wakanda and everybody hated him. People were just hating on him. I mean, his family was still kind of there, but his sister always held him accountable because she says that he's not a king. He's not thinking about being a king, and that's what everybody else is saying, is that he was too much in being involved with being a superhero and not a king. His first responsibility. So there's the Dora Milaje made their own group of, some are assassins, some are they rescue other women that are being enslaved and stuff like that. It's a big movement, and Shuri takes the mantle of Black Panther. And I wonder where they're going to go with this and what they're going to do with it. I just hope that they keep MCU intact and not bring real life into it. So if it's a thing where T'Challa goes off and he's more focused on being a superhero, because he was like, we have to stay within Wakanda, in MCU. We take care of our own. We're not worried about the world outside unless it involves us. Mm-hmm. Once the events of Infinity Wars and Endgame happen, and at the end of Black Panther, everything started opening up for them, right? He started opening up the world to the technology, and Shuri has her own place of operations and stuff of that nature.
Oh yeah, in the old building. Yep.
Right. Building in Oakland or whatever. So they have that. So what I hope they don't, maybe T'Challa goes off to be more of a superhero. He tells Shuri that she's more of, she's more fit to be a queen because she has the mind for it. Mm-hmm. And I wonder how they're going to introduce that. I wonder how they're going to do that and have her take the role of Black Panther. And what is she going to face?
Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting, especially since Riri Williams is in it. Maybe they're just going to tie those two characters together and have them face the battle. Yeah, and I like it. I like it.
That building, maybe because Shuri has something to do with MIT as well, for sure. So I wonder if Riri Williams is going to get this grant in MIT to go and do understudy work, and she goes to that building in Oakland where Shuri is. And then that's how,
that's how it ties together, and that's how they're bringing them together.
And she'd be like, Tony Stark, I know that guy. Amateur, you know how he is.
We got this.
Then they create the Ironheart, whole persona.
Ooh.
I wonder, who knows?
I mean, and how is it gonna bring together then Armor Wars? Like, we know certain things that they're doing, Marvel. We just don't know how they're gonna get there with them, let alone how is it gonna end. So putting those together with the slates that we know, it's going to be a gripping, interesting story, unless they decide to do a 180 and do something different with Black Panther and Shuri. I don't know. Like,
if you look at this new comic book lineup,
that's what I wanted to say. You said it before too. They do things for a reason. The reason the comics are going this route because it's probably setting up for what's happening in the movies.
I'm telling you, I'm looking at this new comic book lineup. Listen to this chat and podcast. We have new Spider-Man, like Spider-Man Reborn type thing, right?
Yep.
We have Avengers Forever. We have Black Panther.
Sure.
We have Captain America, Iron Man, which is like, it's a conflict. We have Daredevil. We have Devil's Reign that has Spider-Man, Kingpin, Daredevil.
Oh my God.
Okay. Nick Fury, Fantastic Four.
This is everything.
Devil's Reign, X-Men.
This is everything.
Fantastic
we're
Four.
about.
These are all lined up right now. Moon Knight. She-Hulk.
Oh my goodness.
She-Hulk and Lady Wolverine, which is what's her face?
X-23?
Yep.
I think.
Spider-Woman, which is rumored to be in casting. Yep, that's it. The rest of the stuff is Star Wars. The
rest of the stuff is Star
Doctor
Wars.
Strange.
Oh my goodness.
I'm looking at Doctor Strange in the World of Strange. The Thing. Miles Morales, Captain America, of course. Miles Morales, all that Miles Morales.
Well, you brought
jazz.
up Captain America before. Well, just obviously they're working on Captain America 4 with Anthony Mackie. That's supposed to come out in 2023, I think, unless that got shifted again.
Oh, and X-Men Storm.
Ooh.
So I'm just saying, let's just mark it down, guys, that all of these, I want to say 90% of what we talked about are all in planning or in plan or in phases. I don't know. Marvel loves having those meetings together and be like, hey guys, we're going to release this comic on this time. We're going to release this with this and this and that. So I'm very, very interested.
Wait, there was something I read. That's Ironheart. Okay. Show's villain. Okay, never mind. But the Ironheart adds This Is Us star Lyric Ross. Anthony Ramos reportedly playing the show's villain. But there's been more and more rumors out there over the past 2 weeks about something you brought up months ago, that they're saying Wakanda Forever, because you brought up Storm, is where we're gonna see Storm come from. How it's gonna tie in and where she's coming from, there's a lot of people who have that idea now too. Man, we talk about so much stuff on this show, and how much of it comes true is absolutely wild.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's I don't know, man. It could be bait and switch, but it's just too convenient that all this stuff is just happening at once. So if you want a hint, you should always look at even the Avengers video game. If there's a new character being released or talked about or teased, more than likely it's going to revolve around a MCU or Disney Plus show or a movie. 100%. Even though the worlds aren't the same, they release outfits around those characters at the exact same time those shows come out. That is literally a marketing strategy. They obviously sit in a meeting room together and they probably discuss and talk about stuff. I hope that it's a Storm origin story, it would be so perfect that she is fit in Wakanda, even if she was just teased at the end of the movie. Yeah. Like at the end of the credits, not the post, not the. I'm talking about post credits, like right at the end. Even if we got a thunderbolt and she turns around and her eyes are glowing, bro, I'd be done. I'd be literally done. I'd probably be like, like I'd be stun locked. You know, it'd be amazing. Serious. It'd be so good. I would be so for it. And if that's the introduction to mutants, like, bro, please. I just wish, God, I really wish Chadwick Boseman was still around. Because I would have loved to see a T'Challa and Storm like relationship, because that is not talked about enough. Is so good. The setup is so good. God, I wish we had it. Anyway, so yeah, that's the route I'm hoping they're going, and I hope they get a beautiful, amazing actress and that loves the idea of Storm to play it. I just think that everybody they cast either loves comics already or falls in love with comics. After playing those characters too,
and the character they play. Whew.
Yeah, how could you not?
It's changing your life most of the time too. Damn.
Yep. News, man. It's everything. Every time I look,
there's something
there is just news about, like, every time I look on, like, when I open up my internet, MSN, there's news about Spider-Man, there's news about something MCU. I wouldn't mind seeing some. A lot of people wonder, they're like, all right, guys, everyone talks about Marvel and DC. There's so many other comic books. It's just that they're not in the face enough. They're just not in the face of people enough. The importance of like TV shows, series, and movies are so large for the comic book world, or even video games, because then people get familiarized and they get interested in the character. Then comic books can pop up in the fray. What are so for foods for thought and for next week, what are some comic book heroes that you like, that you would love to see in the series, or introduce in MCU or DC or in anime or in a Netflix original? It doesn't have to be the big two. Give us some thoughts to think about, guys, so we can look these characters up. And we're going to start doing some fun stuff on the show, like power rankings. Once we hear about releases, we're going to pull up the character. You'll have a visual of them. We'll go power rankings, where the characters are strongest, where the weakest, where they would fit in MCU. Stuff like that. So we can have some fun with that already. You can get started with that early and bring some comic book characters that you would like in the forefront. Like, it can be as weird as Pancake Man or whatever.
Yeah, we did one of these before, and that was a lot of fun. They're like the weirdest named characters or something like that. Even the best hair of comic book heroes.
Yeah,
we could definitely have some fun with that one for sure.
Yep. So I'm very interested in seeing where they're going. Also, this Daredevil comic book has Elektra in it and Kraven.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
You know what? People give her flack, maybe because it was the writing or whatever, but I actually really liked Elektra in the Daredevil series. Not Jennifer Gardner, but the Elektra who was in the Daredevil series. I really liked the actress and how she was portrayed. That. Yeah. Very manipulative. Very, very good.
Yep. Also, video games. What video games would you like to see being made with comic book characters, or even manga? Like even manga coming to the live action. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Ooh. Manga and live action. We really haven't had a really good history of live action anime or comics coming to the forefront. It's been kind of gruesome. I can't even think of any that really did well. I mean, Bleach was okay, I guess, and there's a couple others. Let's see. I need me some Gambit in movies and shows. I also want Silver Surfer. Yes, I don't think they did Silver Surfer justice.
No, not at all. That whole
Gambit needs love, but we're hearing about a lot of Gambit lately. Yeah, so
Gambit's
don't
in
be surprised
Fortnite
if we don't.
Too, which is interesting.
If we see Gambit popping up,
Gambit I think and Rogue are both in Fortnite, and those are two characters that we've both said not only need love, but they need to be done right. Especially Rogue, that wasn't Rogue in the X-Men movies, right? Like that wasn't Rogue.
I think they got to find a way to balance Rogue, man. Rogue is just too powerful. Like I think in the MCU she needs to be balanced. It's kind of like Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is stupid powerful, but I think we're starting to finally get that who she is. I like how they went from Wanda to Scarlet Witch. I think if Rogue is done to where she's just started discovering her powers, I think if we do that route with X-Men, where X-Men are being discovered, we'll be in a good place, because Rogue struggled with that so much. Not to get off topic about the manga, we'll get back to it. But Rogue she has so much baggage, right? Because she there's so much mental stuff going on with Rogue that I think would be so good to really follow up, because she really struggles with the mental cage she's in. She can't find love. Right? That was her whole thing, is like, she can't make love. She can't find love. She can't be with someone. She can't express her emotions with someone. And of course, Wolverine being the hoe he is, he goes around everywhere. Like, he's like Rogue, Jean Grey, you know, all over the place with it. But I just don't want young, little, tiny, itty bitty like Rogue popping around, because we don't get that struggle. That Rogue had daddy issues. We get it. But the Rogue that we know and love is a sweet country girl that wants to experience what everybody else experiences and can't do it, because every time she gets involved with someone, touches them, they can pass out, you know? So
she's also
she dreams them.
But she's also extremely strong and extremely smart. For his, you know, as messed up as she is with what's going on, she is very, very strong. She's very powerful, but who was it? Silver Surfer. The only way I could see them bringing in Silver Surfer is with Galactus as a herald, and the only way I could see is but they would do it right, unlike the other movie. Like, you're talking about, it would almost be like a Infinity War, not Infinity War, excuse me, an Avengers-esque type one, with this Silver Surfer coming down and trying to figure out where he's coming from, what's happening.
Cosmic scale.
He's not coming down in just a single movie. He's coming down for a bigger like team up. Like,
this is probably gonna be Fantastic Four all over again. I mean, they're really probably going to introduce him in some kind of way. We don't even know. I mean, it's Human Torch. It might be Human Torch, or I think we're thinking either Human Torch or Blue Marvel. That's in Multiverse of Madness. Have you seen that? It's a blip of it. It's a guy, he jumps in the air and he turns into fire. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, they think that's so there was
Blue Marvel. It's either Blue Marvel or Human Torch. There
was two theories. One was it was Superior Iron Man, because someone like zoomed in and it looked like a person with a goatee, and Superior Iron Man, when he was powering up, does have that reddish bluish glow. But there's some other images that make it look exactly like not Monica Rambeau's mom from Captain Marvel. Like, really? Like, instead of Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers.
Blue Marvel was on there.
No, but whatever her name is, that instead, like in her universe, she was the one that went on the trip, and she's the one that got all the powers. So that's supposed to be her. So Maria, thank you. Photon. Maria, sorry, Maria. Yeah. So it wasn't Carol, it was Maria who got the powers, and she become Captain Marvel. So they say it's her. Though. Well, but it's so funny. Like, you have one still frame that looks like Iron Man and looks like a goatee, and then you have another one that looks exactly like her. And if you look at her now, it's the short hair and everything. Yeah. So it's like,
I don't know. Also,
Marvel's doing things, man. Again, Marvel's doing things.
They could have released two different trailers too. Marvel's
two
weird.
Trailers, two different images. They're pushing stuff out there. I
tell you, they bait leaks all the time. So you know, who knows? So back to discussion. Manga live action. I mean, you know, we have Jujutsu Kaisen coming to theaters soon. I'm very excited about that because Jujutsu Kaisen is really huge right now, and everybody is waiting for season 2 so long. Like, it's just, God, it's coming out in 2023 apparently, or something like that. Really excited about that. I think anime and manga itself is just doing well as those two formats. I think the live action, quote unquote, that we get is the anime form, and I'm okay with that. But I don't know, man. If I think we just haven't had a great live action yet. If we could do live action comics, why can't we do live action manga? That's all I'm saying. But yeah, back to those characters. Yeah, I think I really want to see a Rogue. I think I want to see Rogue more than anybody. Rogue and Storm. Those two I want to see more than anybody be introduced to the MCU. They're two gigantic characters that have a lot to do with everything that is not in MCU. It's kind of weird. You know, I don't know. I just don't want a damn Squirrel Girl to pop up before they do. Like, come on, you know. But knowing Marvel, we will get Squirrel Girl. You just know how
Ooh,
it is.
yeah, Modoc. There was rumors
Oh,
that like Jim Carrey was supposed to play him or like voice him or something like that a couple of
interesting.
months
He
ago.
can do
Now,
it.
where
Jim
was
Carrey's good.
he going with it? Where was he going to be in, or what was he going to be in? I don't necessarily know, but that's another character. Like there is a lot of characters that we haven't seen hit yet, so that would be. Oh God, Casual, I hate you for that statement.
Your lies.
Your
Your
lies.
lies are damaging. I'm
But you
just
know
gonna
what?
say,
Hopefully,
Emotional damage.
don't talk. We don't talk about that or Avatar.
well, actually, I was gonna say with Avatar, hopefully their way they're going with this route with
I'm liking
Netflix,
it. I'm liking it.
maybe that will help because Netflix Bleach was man. If they do this right, hopefully they'll be able to do more.
I
and more,
mean,
'cause
Bleach
Netflix,
wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it could have been worse.
That is true. Yeah.
We know that. I mean, Dragon Ball is like, I feel like Dragon Ball was made so people won't make bad renditions. I feel like
this.
that had to be a joke. Somebody just had money they just wanted to throw away. I mean, honestly, they were like, watch this. What if we made an American version of Dragon Ball? We'll make tons of money. I feel like that was just a conversation.
You see, with
or
one
a bet somebody lost.
With One Piece, I kind of have hope for, because as much as it's anime, like there's a whole different aspect to it. I like with Luffy,
as long as they don't try to
like
Americanize stuff,
you can't
we'll
Americanize it. Yeah, you can't Americanize
That's
it.
just the big thing, man. It's just a big thing. Star Wars,
Yeah.
guys.
Oh, God,
like
Netflix
Star Wars, we have Obi-Wan coming up very soon.
Oh man. Oh yeah. And if you don't chat, I've been really listening to him a lot now. Star Wars and Squatch.
Again, this is the second week
Star
in a
Wars
row.
and Sasquatch.
Star Wars and Scotch. Tim and Kevin do a great job talking a lot about what's going on, and it's a podcast. You can go listen to them. It's on the Rare Drop family. They're buds with us. They're part of this family, and man, we got a lot of stuff Star Wars coming out starting in May. Like we have Star Wars Celebration in May. Obviously, I thought it was going to be May the 4th, but it's May the 24th or 25th is the Obi-Wan series. And then you're just going to be on a whole like upward slope now that Boba Fett's done. And they're down too. Like at least we went from Hawkeye, and 2 months later, we have 2.5 months later, we have Moon Knight, but we went from Boba Fett. You only have like 4.5 months, almost 5 full months before we get something else Star Wars related with Obi-Wan.
I'm really concerned that they haven't announced the season 2 of Hawkeye yet.
Yeah, okay.
I'm really concerned about that. I didn't know Sarah Pacelli was on this Amazing Spider-Man joint. Sorry, that's like really derailed, but I'm really excited about that. Sarah Pacelli is the original artist for Miles Morales, so I'm really excited about that.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, gosh, man, like Hawkeye was so freaking good. Like, why can't they confirm a season 2? How are you going to confirm a season 2 of What If before it even comes out? You can't. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe it's contractual stuff with Jeremy and seeing if he's going to, go with it or not, which I'm pretty sure he will. He's not really doing that much. He's doing the mayor of whatever the heck it's called. He's doing that, but he's not really doing much. But anyway, I don't know, man. I really love Marvel, but I really hate how one-sided our show is because we can't get anything going for DC. Besides, by the way, DC, yeah, speaking of which, animation, watch it. Harley Quinn, apparently really good. I haven't seen it. I'm planning on watching it probably Monday, if not tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things really good. It's HBO,
the animation is more anyway, so we know that.
It's HBO Max. Kelly Cuoco does a great job as Harley. It's not PG at all.
No, it's very. I've seen enough clips to be like. But man, the Bane scene has me. I could watch that 1,000 times. I'm still laughing. If it's not a parody, well, maybe it is. Whoever voices Bane does Tom Hardy's voice, but makes it very sarcastic and then over the top, and it's just so funny. Oh my God, you guys got to go see it. It's so funny, emotional and gory. Yeah, I mean, it sounds just like it's like a DC flick. But yeah, other than that, guys, I mean, there's not really that much big news going on in the comic book world right now, just because we're not on a lull, so to speak. We're just kind of on a cool down, and we're building up. Everyone is still hype for Spider-Man. Spider-Man, I heard in the news, could be a bait that is may not make the Oscar stuff. I don't know. I thought they had it sealed, but
they're not up for anything. The only way they can get in right now for whether best acting or best movie is if it's fan voted right now, which is wild because it's a really, really good movie.
It's a really good movie.
The third highest grossing or seventh highest grossing of all time now. It finally took over Titanic the other day, if I remember correctly. So it's like it should be getting more love than what it is, but it's unfortunately not.
Also, it's a comic book movie.
Also, for those of you that are Batman fans, obviously Batman releases this Friday, March 4th, but embargoes for reviews, I believe non-spoilers, come up on Monday at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific. So if you want to not get anything spoiled, if you plan on seeing it, Thursday night or Wednesday night or Friday night, whenever your local theaters are showing it off, make sure to try to stay away from it. I've been looking at basic things on it just because I wanted to see what people thought about the movie, the tone, and Robert Pattinson, and it's being praised. And there are multiple outlets saying, and I can't believe it is 2022 and I'm saying this, but there's 4 major outlets saying Robert Pattinson will be your new favorite Batman. I can't believe I'm saying it.
I don't know. I believe it because the movie hasn't come out yet and they want people to go see it.
Yeah,
so
true.
I kind of feel like that's hype. Kind of feel like that's fluff. So I'm not saying Robert Pattinson can do it. I have all the faith in him. I'm just saying that it's odd that before embargo, talks are coming out is literally the hype. We know how that goes. You go watch the movie and you get another. Remember how the Joker, whatever the heck that movie was called? Remember how that was hyped through the roof? And when you saw it, you were like, so when is he going to kill somebody? So when is he going to get the paint on his face? I don't really want to see it. Oh, he's got that. Oh, it's good budget paint. Oh, okay. All right. Got you. So, and where does this Joker fit? And why is he so old? And why
now they're talking about a second one.
So you're like, where the hell is this in the timeline? Oh, and then they bark it on you. Oh yeah, this is just another universe, one shot. And I'm like, I hope this Batman's not that.
Oh, which we talked about. This Batman universe is going to extend into another Batman movie. Matt Reeves is going to expand onto a new trilogy and maybe even bring this Batman now into the current DCEU, they're saying. And what could happen is it's going to be all based on the Flash movie and him going through time and potentially doing a Flashpoint and
can he kill all the other Batman so he'd be the only one so he can be done with this?
They're saying that you're going to see Batfleck die in the Flash now. But then what does that do with Michael Keaton's Batman? Because he's supposed to be
Michael
lined
Keaton
up.
Should be from a different universe, and Robert Pattinson should be the Batman. We already have the Michael Keaton verse.
Yeah, we've already had it, but then it's like tying into the Batgirl TV show that they have out there, but they're saying I'm gonna try to bring up the Batman. Was it second movie?
Yeah,
movie coming and going into the DCEU.
I saw an interview with him about his best roles, and I really like how they talked about Batman. You talking about Michael Keaton? It does sound messy. I really don't know where they can actually make these timelines. It's just, to me, I feel like I'm an investor at the top, right, with all the money, and I'm like, guys, it really just makes sense. If Robert Pattinson knocks it out of the park and our numbers do really well, let's start over with him. That's it.
Yeah.
They can even just hold it to the end and be like, if he does really great, let's do it. We already know where Flashpoint's going. Let's make Robert Pattinson our Batman. Done. Pattinson, sorry. Yeah, done. That's kind of where they should do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like he talks about everything that he wants to do. He wants to go into like a
Pattinson. I keep saying Patterson.
Like, yeah, Robert Pattinson. Yeah, it's his. But he's already in negotiations. They want to bring him onto 2. He's already said people that he would love to bring Mr. Freeze in this type of universe. Because if that's the case, I would love to see a non, chill, Mr. Freeze. If they could do a good treatment if they could do a good treatment to Freeze, man, I am all for it. Especially if they harp on the human side of him with Nora and his idea and why he was going after it. Good, man. Because as much as he's a bad guy, he's you feel for the reasons. Asylum that did it best?
I think Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum did Mr. Freeze by far the best, hands down. But no, I'm sorry. Dude, go back and watch the animated series, Mr. Freeze. That is gripping for an animated series. Oh my God, really, it's so good. Yep. But
it gave you feels. Yeah, it made you like rethink.
Bruce Timm. I can't wait for that series to come back cartoon wise.
But whatever they do, goddamn, we don't need 3 Batmans. We don't need 4 Batmans. Yeah. We just need 1. And then create the universe off of that. I'd be so happy. Robert Pattinson, is really, really good.
He's a good actor
for this Batman role for a refresh, because then we could bring in Ra's al Ghul. We could bring in all that stuff because he's young. He's young now. He was rough around the edges. He's making a lot of mistakes. He's getting his ass whipped so often as well. This is really good. A really good spot, I think, for DC to start rebuilding the DCEU. And I just feel like to me, it's a no-brainer. I don't know why they keep dancing around. It's like multiple people own the rights to Batman and they all want to make a damn movie at the same time. I don't know.
It's extremely smart for what you're saying. It's just hopefully these people with money don't say, let's just pump everything out Batman-wise to beat someone to the punch to make this money and do a Justice League, 3.0, I guess, at this point.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's not an origin story. It's a year 2, year 3 story like they did with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which was fantastic because we didn't want that. It's detective Batman, which is something we haven't seen before. Like you go full on mystery detective, solving puzzles like a Jigsaw, which was great with the Arkham games. Solving the puzzles for the Riddler was a pain in the butt, but it was so cool. I'm down. I'm into it. I want it.
Give it to me. I said the same thing. I think focusing on like Scarecrow is probably one of the worst villains he could ever go up against. And there's some comic books that do Scarecrow really right. It's so scary, man. Like the amount of stuff that they can explore, like just breaking that barrier with people like Scarecrow. I mean, Penguin's story is just heartbreaking. There's so many grim tales within Gotham that they can focus on other than the Joker. Like I'm Jokered out. No more laughs. There's nothing that I care about the Joker right now. I think we paid homage to him. He's got every film. The hype is gone.
Yeah, you got a little bit of Scarecrow in Batman Begins with that whole nightmare scene and what he saw. But if you can expand upon that and actually make him the big bad of a movie like they are doing with the Riddler and how they've taken that Jigsaw, oh my God, like Ted Bundy type thing to it and grounding it, but do that with Scarecrow with that fear toxin, you could do some wild stuff with it.
Scarecrow is bonkers, like really, really good. Speaking of Gotham and all that stuff, Gotham Knights, where you at, baby? It's supposed to release on consoles and PC this year. We're supposed to have a dynamic and interactive Gotham without Batman type gameplay. Development at WB Games Montreal, the studio behind Batman Arkham Origins. Gotham Knights will see players don the mask of Batgirl, Barbara Gordon's Batgirl, Tim Drake's Robin, and Nightwing, who's Dick Grayson. And Red Hood is Jason Todd. All who must work together to stop the city descending into chaos. The death of the Caped Crusaders. So, a lot of people think that Batman's not dead in this, by the way. So I'll let you guys know. But apparently, they're building up the story like he is, and they have to take the mantle of everything. You basically switch between 4 heroes. What game was like that? There was a game that we can switch. I feel like maybe I wonder if they're using the same engine they did with Suicide Squad or something. I don't know. But that's what it looks like. You switch between players. So you can choose to play solo. The game has been built with co-op in mind. I hate how that sounds. allowing you to team up with friends in formidable superhero alliance. But the fact that I never really like the fact when they say stuff like co-op in mind, or like when people, what was that failure of a game?
Co-op
Anthem,
in mind. Oh God.
where they were like MMO. They said MMO, but it was like some way they put it, and I was like, this game is gonna fall. It's like MMO-esque or something. I don't know. But a Court of Owls story again. I would love to see a Court of Owls. With Robert Pattinson.
So he said that. He also, like, in the stories that he wanted to do, Matt Reeves, he goes, Mr. Freeze, and I would love to take on Court of Owls. And I still go back on what I said a couple of weeks ago in that first big full-on non-teaser trailer drop where you see this door and it all starts here and Gotham, the way Riddler's talking. We're going to get Court of Owls references, and I wouldn't be surprised at the end of this movie, Court of Owls is the big bad. There's just so many things in that trailer that leads me to believe the things that he's saying outside of just your father isn't exactly who you thought he was with the Falcone family. I just feel like we're gonna get something there related to Court of Owls because that. And Court of Owls is the Gotham Knight game. So if we are led to believe what you see in the comics and what you're going to see in the movies, there you go. That's why you haven't heard about anything Gotham Knight since.
We can hope. I mean, the release.
Maybe that's why we haven't heard anything because, DC is very, you can't touch this person. If I just looked at the time, if they're going to be here and they're very much with Batman on that, you can't do anything Batman related if we're going up here with him. And we haven't heard
they're going to do
Gotham
crossovers
Knights.
with the show. So you're going to have like crossover skins with the show, apparently. So like Batgirl and all that stuff is supposed to have skins from the game and vice versa. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I know Lars is like this Gotham Knight. I mean, we're pulling teeth here for DC. I am going above and beyond for DC. You guys know who I am and where I come from. I'm praying for them to have a win. Okay, we
need a win.
It doesn't need to be The Rock doing everything. We just need something. Just need something, man. I don't know.
Chat, before we get out of here, raise of hands. Are you guys, gals, people, individuals, human beings, are you planning on seeing the Batman next weekend when it comes out? I'm interested in seeing what you say.
Next weekend, like in a theater.
Yeah, because it comes out on the 4th, Friday. And then obviously we have our show on Saturday. So I want to see how many people out there are actually planning on going to see it. If not Friday, but like over the weekend. I want to see it. I don't know if I'm going to see it on Friday, but the weird thing is by me, I looked yesterday, unlike Spider-Man, there's a lot of places that like there's a open stadium seating by me. I'm like, why is there no one buying tickets right now? New is gonna go see it. Don't worry, I'll stand up for DC until I die.
I don't know, man. It's like, okay, so they're definitely not advertising Batman as much as they did Spider-Man in the theaters because I haven't gotten any notifications from Fandango and be like, hey, movie you should see, buddy. There it is. They're not doing that to me. I haven't gotten one banner yet. Spider-Man, my phone blew up the day that the tickets were available. So it's like, and nobody's really talking about it. That's the thing. Nobody's talking about Batman. I go on Twitter. Nobody's really saying Jack Diddley Squat. Like, so I mean, Spider-Man, it was like I have to avoid Twitter for a whole 2 weeks before the movie releases. Yeah. Nobody cares, so I think everybody's just kind of holding their breath.
Let's see. Friday. What is this? This is a place by me, 12 p.m. Reserve seating. Section, I am a male adult. So choose seats. Yeah, look, there's so many seats available right now.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That's wild.
Well, it's the best time to go see the movie.
I may actually, you know what? I may go on Friday now that I'm thinking about it.
Damn, that's like opening day, and there's nobody. Wow. Anyway, I mean that's just how the fruit flows, I guess. I don't know. But if Spider-Man brings in more viewers during a reviewing than Batman, then well, I hope it's good. It's
what's gonna be interesting? Batman. Batman. I wonder how what was that? Nope, that was me.
Yeah, that was mine.
So I wonder.
Open up a window.
Chat. I wonder: is Batman going to make more money opening weekend, or will Black Adam make more money opening 100% weekend?
Black Adam, bro.
But that's crazy to think about because you would always say Batman, but we're at a point
Dwayne
where it's
Johnson.
like it's mother.
Boy, people will run to the theater for that man. You crazy?
Man. I'm
Dwayne Johnson.
I'm down
if it wasn't
for that.
Dwayne Johnson, I'd be like, it's up in the air. But please,
my Black Adam is going to be like, oh, Batman, I spit on you.
Seriously, like, I mean, the teaser trailer of Black Adam looks better than half the stuff DC put out in the past 3 years, man. What you mean? Like, and they have a new trailer. I avoided it.
Which one?
Yeah. I said I avoided it, but I know who's in it now, so I'm just like, oh damn.
Wait,
yeah.
Which one? What are you talking about?
What just movie? The characters that are going to be in Black Adam.
Oh yeah, I mean the main trailer showed everything, but we kind of knew that from the other trailers. But you actually like finally see them.
You see them. Yeah, which is gonna be awesome because I've never seen that character portrayed live action, so it's cool. And if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, you see it yourself because
I know which one you're talking about. There's
too much.
Yeah, there's two of them. The one that you're talking about, and there's another one that I'm really interested to see how they're gonna play. But yeah, oh man.
Well, all right, guys, we ran over time. Yeah, Uncharted.
I haven't seen it yet, but people are saying it's okay.
You saw it? Did you like it? I mean, Tom Holland said he didn't care for it, but now he's saying he does. So I don't know what to say. I know he worked in a bar for a while and got kicked out of it. So whatever that meant.
I mean,
but yeah,
people said that it was an okay movie. Tom Holland grew on you at the end as Nathan Drake. Sully, Mark Wahlberg, they said he was not Sully at all. But as far as the movie goes, they said it was a pretty good movie. They said it wasn't the best movie, but they said it was a good movie. I mean, you'll probably get a sequel from it, I assume.
I mean,
and
honestly,
hopefully they'll be able to fix it.
The tour that he's doing is not making any headlines at all. He's in the news more for Spider-Man still than he is with Uncharted. Yeah. It's kind of wild. Yeah. People are more worried about that character, and I see why.
So big things this month. Obviously, next week is going to be Batman the 4th. You have Spider-Man. You have Spider-Man coming to digital on the 22nd. So that's about 4-ish weeks from now, and then at the end of the month on the 30th, you have Moon Knight coming, and then obviously that's like the TV/movie type things that are coming out there. Obviously, there's more comic book things that we're going to be talking about, more video game news that we're going to talk about.
Batman again? It's Friday?
Yeah, a week from yesterday, this Friday, the 4th.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do a Batman prep for you guys, things to look for. I'm not going on Friday, more than likely not going to go on Friday. I'll probably go on like a Sunday or Monday early, something where nobody's there. And we'll do a Batman prep. We'll be like, what to prep for the Batman, things to look forward to, things to not. And we'll go over Batman in general and go over different Batman stories and see where they're going to land up and stuff like that. We'll do that. It'll be really fun. That way, it's something, kind of different other than that. But yeah.
And if you don't want to get
more exciting and stuff coming up, guys, so keep yourselves in your seats. There's a lot of big announcements that's going to be happening that we can't really talk about right now. So keep that in mind. Yeah. Yes. Make sure you follow the Twitter, the Commix Show. Please click on that and hit follow. And then leave comments, concerns, anything that you want to talk about on the show, leave it there. We can always make it happen. Yeah. If you're reading indie comics over the weekend, let us know. Or during the week. If you're reading those Miles Morales comic books, let us know. If you see Trill, what is it called? Trill League.
Yep.
Let me know. Let me know what you think. Any shows that we should look out forward to, or any old video games or cartoons that you showed your children and they were into it. Let us know. I mean, those are some good things to think about and talk about. Yeah. So anyway, other than that, guys, I think that's it. That's it for show 35 of Comics. Thank you so very much. It was kind of a chill couch session today because, like I said, comic news is kind of like, it's kind of out there. It's just like kind of waiting for the big stuff to drop so we can really dive into what's going on. As of guests and stuff, we're working on a guest list now. It's kind of like, early in the year, we're kind of letting people kind of, do their thing, adjust to the new year. And then we'll start getting our guests on. So have some really interesting conversations. So be looking forward to that. Other than that, Matt, you got anything else to say?
You pretty much hit the nail on the head. Obviously, we have the Twitter. We're going to be and are more active on it. So for those of you that have Twitter, please go follow us there, or obviously follow Frank and myself on Twitter as well. Or since you're here on Twitch, or if you're listening on a podcast, obviously we stream daily as well. But we got a lot of cool things, as Frank said, going on there. Call it Comic 1.0 or 2.0. We'll be coming out.
Right now we're in the pilot stage. So we're just kind of developing comics as we go along. So that's why your feedback is very important to us. So if you do have feedback on comics, please let us know. Leave messages on the comics Twitter. That way we can see it and we can like adjust the show. We do have some really cool ideas coming up.
Yes.
And if we already know that we're going to fix that, we'll check it off and just be like, okay, good, great, great suggestion.
Yeah. And if there's anybody,
please make suggestions.
And anybody too, like I know we've had a bunch of amazing writers, artists, industry experts, voice actors on here. If there's anybody that you think you'd like to see as well, throw it in there. We're always game. I mean, I'm one mind, Frank's another, but you're the hive mind. So, please let us know. And then next week, like Frank said, we're going to be talking about some Batman stuff and much, much, much more.
Yep. All right, fellas and ladies and everyone in between, thank you so very much for being here. We appreciate you being a part of Comics Number 35 listeners on the podcast. Thank you for supporting us. We see the numbers. My God, thank you. Wow. Thank you. Hopefully you get to listen to us while you're going to work and have your lunch break or just putting up with some piece of shit bosses, because I know I had to. We'll see you next week, next Saturday, for Comics Number 36. So see you soon. Have a good one, guys. Be safe, wear your mask, and stay healthy.
Thank you for stopping by, everybody.
Bye.